Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut? You're getting by fine with whatever you're doing, school, work, whatever, but nothing really seems to be going on in your life. You don't really seem to be getting anywhere. People ask you what you've been up to, and all you can say is some NPC answer like, "Yeah, I've just been doing homework, really busy on that grind," or "Yeah, just working. The boss has really been killing me lately." That's how I've been feeling lately. I've been getting assignments done day of, but I've also been spending a lot of time playing video games and, well, you get the picture. I needed a change, something to shake up the monotony of my everyday life. Enter Colton. Say hi, Colton.
Upside down view. Shit.
Colton was introduced to me by my girlfriend Lindsay. Say hi, Lindsay. Colton is someone I would say has very good habits. He wakes up early, he's a vegan, he brews his own kombucha, and he also happens to jump into Lake Mendota every day. Now, this wouldn't be that weird if it wasn't at 7 a.m. and the whole lake happens to be frozen over and it's the middle of winter in the Midwest. I decided this was a perfect opportunity to get myself out of this rut I felt I've been in. I was a little hesitant about going, but I'm no coward. I enjoy a good challenge. I'm up for it, so I decided to join Colton for 2 weeks jumping in the frozen lake at 7 a.m. I know that if I keep doing things the way I'm doing them, I'll be okay. I can coast through the rest of college, get a comfy CS job that will provide me with a lot of disposable income, and I'll be set for life. I'll have no issues, no financial worries to worry about. But I don't know if that's what I want to do or if it will make me satisfied with myself. And maybe jumping in a freezing lake for 2 weeks will take me a step closer to finding out what that thing is. So, without further ado, let's get to the action. The general game plan for jumping in the lake was as follows. 1. Get to the lake. 2. Clear out any ice that froze over.
Get this crunch out. There we go.
3. Strip and jump in.
Come on in. Oh. It was slipped.
And 4. Dunk your head under.
2, 1.
That's generally how it went. The hardest part for me ended up being waking up in the morning at 6:30 a.m. because I'm used to sleeping in until 8, 9, 10, 11, depending on when I have classes the next day. Once I was up and ready and at the lake, I was almost ready to jump in. It was like I was getting my warm cup of coffee for the morning. After you put your head under, you really do feel reborn. The shock to your system wakes you up and you just feel ready to tackle the day. While I was jumping in the lake, I often found it easier to get my homework done and stay on top of things. It's like my discipline has increased just because I was jumping in the lake every morning. Jumping in the lake definitely put me in the right headspace. Most of the process doesn't feel that good until a bit after you get out. After you get out, your body feels like there's a fire inside you, fighting to warm you up. Your muscles feel limber and loose. Your mind feels alert. It's like taking Adderall without the negative effects of taking an amphetamine. Most days, it was usually just me and Colton jumping in, and occasionally a friend Gabby. The 2 exceptions to this were when the R2C group came and jumped in, and when the Wim Hof Club did a group jump in. Jumping in with the R2C group was fun, and watching them was fun, but I was more interested in the Wim Hof group. It would be an opportunity to meet a group of people that had been doing this kind of thing consistently for a while. It was there that I met Chris, one of the organizers of the Wim Hof Club. I'd heard a few things about Chris, like how he likes to hold himself under the ice in order to stay underneath the water for longer. I decided to interview Chris and get his perspective on these underwater escapades.
Go ahead, look at the camera. Just talking.
Alright, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could glance
Okay,
at him, but
gotcha.
probably just.
My name is Christopher Hastings. I'm a junior here at Madison. and I'm studying entrepreneurship in Chinese.
How have you noticed that Wim Hof or doing like these techniques has affected you personally?
Yeah, I started like 4 years ago now, and the first year I kind of started with just the cold showers part of it,
Right.
because I heard, great way to regain more focus and like, sleep better, and obviously people have heard about using cold baths for like post workout muscle
Yeah,
recovery type
right.
thing. So that's what intrigued me at first. I started to get into cold showers, but I would say the breath work has had definitely the more profound effect on me.
Okay.
And the heat component too. When women advise the heat, is just not as many people have access to like a sauna. It's all about energy for me. Like having that, being able to tackle the day and just have the stamina to last, whether it's with cognitive tasks like in school, or whether I'm doing something physical, or even just like, working on, emotional things and relationships. Just having that energy is huge. Honestly, at the beginning, I started doing it also because of like for skin health reasons. Like,
Okay,
you
yeah.
heard like, oh, hot shower dries your skin.
Right, I have
in
heard
the
that
winter.
it strips a lot of your oils.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cold
So
showers
that
are
was
kinda
like,
better.
there's no silver bullet, but that in conjunction with a lot of other things that I happen to be doing at the time definitely just really helped.
Has doing this led you to adopt any other habits in your life that aren't kind of related to this?
Yeah, I'd say like around the time I started doing cold showers and learning about the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
And I think this happens for a lot of people too. It kind of marks the start of their personal health development journey
Right.
type thing. So they
Yeah.
start to do a lot of other things, whether it's focusing on being outdoors more and just moving more, be more mobile, and incorporating some breath work,
Right.
work on your diet, etc. So I'd say a lot of these things started to come into my life. There's a lot of things you can do to optimize your health and happiness and in
Yeah.
life, but breath work I've found is like, and obviously this is mentioned in a lot of literature and a lot of people
Right.
talk about this, but it's the one tool you possess that you can literally do anywhere at any time with nothing. You can look up videos of monks doing this, but like they'll subsist on the breath. I mean, they're called like breatharians, and they can literally harness the power of their breath to last through crazy things.
That's interesting, 'cause in high school I was reading some stuff about the monks that they'd have like attendants come and they'd put like cold, like wet towels on them in the
They
middle of
dry 'em
winter.
off.
Yeah, and just through their breath, they'd raise their body temperature and then they'd be like steaming and the towels would just be dry by the end.
Yeah,
They picture air coming in and out as a kind of energy. They visualize it as a flame, a fire coursing through the chest.
that's what's crazy, because they're just using one form of breathing
Right,
that
yeah.
you could use. There's like, if any of you read Breath by James Nestor, there's a quote in that book that says, there are like more ways to breathe than there are foods to eat. So just being conscious of the breath has been
Yeah.
huge. I would say, going back to like everyday habits and
Yeah.
stuff. Just like when you're walking to class, like being aware of whether you're breathing through your nose or your mouth, or whether you're holding your breath when you're on your phone unconsciously and like leaning down, or whether you're breathing through your diaphragm or chest.
Have you noticed anyone have any adverse effects to it?
The worst that we've seen is like people come out and like oh my god, it's so cold. And
Yeah,
then, like,
right.
But then usually when they get out, they're pleasantly surprised that they're not actually cold when they get out, because
Right,
the water
yeah.
was colder than the air. And then sometimes like people who do push it to maybe like a 20-minute ice bath or something, they'll get this thing called after drop, where these in the water, they get this thing called peripheral vasoconstriction, where all the blood goes to your vital organs, right? It wants to
Okay, yeah,
protect
right,
them, and then
yeah.
when you get out, all of a sudden now it mixes that warm blood in your
flows back,
and
yeah.
mixes that cold blood in your extremities, and that causes some shivering. So it's kind of like mild hypothermia that you're getting,
Yeah.
but I think people tend to over-exaggerate the seriousness of
Right.
hypothermia. Like there can be different levels of it. You just don't want to get to that really
You don't want
high
to get
level.
or the point where like it's life or death.
Right. Yeah, you're not technically supposed to do the breathing in there because you do get lightheaded, but that doesn't go to say you shouldn't breathe in there type thing or be
Right.
conscious. Like focus on those slow diaphragmatic breaths. You want to complement the physiological responses going on in the water with your breath.
What would you say has been the one biggest thing that you've seen a change in like people from before when they just started joining and then till like now after they've been doing it for a while?
I've seen immediate effects before where people will, like, after their first time doing the breathing, they'll be like, oh my god, this is life-changing. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And they'll continue to say that. I'm like, I mean, obviously this is Wim's thing, but
Yeah.
like, I appreciate it. They're just more content because, like, clearly the cold and the breathing in combination are a very stressful event. And then
Right.
after, you can ensure that the rest of your day is going to be very calm. Like nothing's going to be as scary. You're not
Right.
nothing or as
Or even
physiologically stimulating.
Yeah.
I think I've noticed maybe their demeanor is a lot calmer throughout the day.
Most of the questions I asked Chris for the interview were done outside of the water, but I did save a few choice questions that I wanted to ask him while we were in the water.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sun helps.
Another question is, what about this process kind of keeps you doing it?
It's always the after feel. I mean, like, obviously when you get in, it's so stimulating. I mean, there's like no cup of coffee could ever replicate.
Yeah.
But it's definitely the getting out. You just feel like you feel like a god. It's just,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll see when we get out. We'll just be like, ah.
Right, yeah,
Sometimes I just want to like unleash, a huge like lion roar type thing. Especially when you get your head in too.
A lot of people kind of really get into this, and though, like, they can't get enough of it. You think people can kind of almost like get an addiction to it?
So, funny thing is that you say that because during like cold thermogenesis is what this is called, and also heat thermogenesis, you actually literally release opioids in your body.
Yeah.
So beta endorphins, which is like kind of the runner's high,
Right,
and
yeah.
dynorphins. Those are both released, and they're in a way addictive. I
Right,
mean, these you
yeah.
seek, and dopamine also, because when you're in the cold water, and specifically when you submerge your head, your norepinephrine and epinephrine count increases by like 300%.
Jeez, yeah.
Which those are your stress hormones, and but then when you get out, it plummets. So
Right.
that plummeting, in conjunction with that like dopamine release,
Strong effect.
is a huge effect, and your body remembers that.
So you like to stay under quite a bit longer than most people. Like, you'll go over here and kind of hold yourself under.
Oh yeah.
What kind of got you doing that?
So my friend and I, when we first began doing this the first year, we like tried to go for time. So we'd stay in for like 20 minutes, and at the end we
Yeah.
try to hold our breath underwater for like a minute type thing under the ice.
Yeah, it's
and
pushing that envelope a little bit.
pushing the envelope for sure. Now, like, usually I'd probably be starting to get out by now because through doing a little bit more science on, looking into the science, it's kind of like diminishing returns after around like 5 minutes.
Right.
And even 5 minutes, like you literally need to be, especially with this type of cold water, you literally need to be in for like a minute. And specifically, I tell people it's the head, going back to your thing, which is why I go put my head underwater, because that's where all the cognitive benefits come from. It gets a lot more real when your head gets in, and that's why I put my head in there.
What's kind of the future look like for you, like near future, extended future? Where do you kind of see yourself going after college?
Oh, just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
I want to approach life as
Be
having a
open,
series of
yeah.
accomplishments type
Right.
thing. So like maybe one time I want to, say I wanted to be an accountant, which I don't, but if I did want to, I would only want to do it for like 3 years, and just because I happen to be interested in it in the moment.
Yeah.
But the idea is you're always evolving with interests, and you don't want to confine yourself. So maybe after being an accountant, I would decide to pursue an Ironman triathlon.
Yeah,
Or maybe
something
after
else.
that, I would decide to be a physical therapist, maybe a chef after.
Right.
But like just not limiting yourself, because I think that's having that infinite curiosity is important. So basically, to answer your question, trying a bunch of things,
Just seeing
staying
where it takes
open-minded.
you. Yeah,
but
I like that.
right now I'm very into like seaweed, so I'm
Okay.
hoping to start like a little seaweed farm,
Okay.
shellfish farm off
Yeah.
the West Coast. But
That's pretty cool. I like that idea.
yeah, shall we dunk?
Yeah, let's get a dunk in. My toes are starting to feel it.
Okay, ready?
Yep. All right. Woo. Oh yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm not able to hold myself under, I start to just like float to the top.
I know, I noticed that. Once you get out, you definitely feel Like even right now, I already feel like better than when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
in the water.
100%. Oh,
That's what I've
The
noticed
sun helps.
with a lot of people too. Like right after, you can notice just a change in their. I mean, even in myself, you notice just a change in their, like the way they talk and
right.
yeah, and like their energy, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, they just experienced something so stressful and they made it out alive.
Chris is a very knowledgeable person when it comes to the Wim Hof method, the techniques, the science and literature behind it, and the effects it has on people. But I think one of the last comments he made really lends a lot of insight into why somebody would want to do something like this, despite it being difficult and uncomfortable to do. It's like he said, you just came through a stressful event. Of course, your juices are going to be flowing. That fight or flight instinct's going to be kicking in, and you're going to be feeling great. It's going to be like coming off of a high once you get out. But I think one of the more important aspects that it develops is the concept of delayed gratification. In a society that's constantly headed towards pleasure and instant gratification, jumping in a frozen lake reminds us that there's rewards to be had through difficult situations and enduring through them. There's one more person I want to interview for this video in order to make it truly complete. It's someone who takes jumping into the lake very seriously, that crazy compatriot of mine, Mr. Colton Mansavage.
I got a Jolly Rancher in right now too, so I hope you don't mind there. All right, children, keep it down back there. We got business going. My name is Colton Mansavage. My major is Communication Arts, Radio, Television, and Film. And then I'm getting certificates so far in Sustainability and Digital Cinema Productions. And then my year in school is a junior.
Guys, I'm really interested in how you got started jumping in the lake.
Yeah, so about January of last year, so 2021, I started doing cold showers. I was actually following Wim Hof's account, and he had like a 20-day cold shower challenge.
Yeah.
So you started at 15 seconds, and then every few days you'd move up like to 30 seconds, and eventually by the end of the 20 days I was doing it for 2 minutes. And then I built up, so like I built up 15 seconds, like added on each time.
Little increments.
Yep, and then I got up to 4 minutes, I think, and then I just like stopped keeping track and just like kept doing cold showers. And then it was actually my birthday of last year. I was out in March taking pictures for my job, and I saw some students jumping in the lake, so I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a cool picture to get.
Yeah.
So I go take pictures of them, and then I was talking to them about it because I'm like, I do like the Wim Hof breathing anyway and stuff like that. And they're like, you should come in. So I didn't have my swimsuit or anything, so I stripped down. Yeah, stripped down to my underwear, and I just hopped in with them, and I did like a minute there for my like first jump. And then I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah. What kind of keeps you coming back to this? Because I mean, a lot of people see something like this, and they're like, well, he's crazy, or anyone's crazy who jump in a cold lake.
Yep.
But you've done it like almost every day over winter.
Yep. I think, yeah, at first it was just like a big shock every time, and it still is every time I go in. Like my body still get the deep breaths, and stuff like that. But like after like I'm in there like the first like 30 seconds, first minute, like my body, like the inside, like I feel like warm on the inside, and I feel like really good, and I'm like, I don't know, it feels really good in the moment. And then afterward throughout the day, I just feel like I'm really like focused on whatever I'm doing, so I can like get more done, and I have like more energy, because I used to have a really hard time falling asleep.
Yeah.
Be up for like half hour, like every night after, just trying to go to bed. And now like I do like my little night routine, meditate, and then I hit the pillow, probably fall asleep within like 5 minutes. So just all these like benefits of it, and just like overall, I feel like it makes like my mental health like better, and like makes me like feel better. So I don't know, that just like gets me excited, and I want to come back because I like feeling good, I guess.
Yeah.
And it feels good when I'm in there too.
Beep bop boop bop.
Beep beep poo poo.
Do you think like you've become addicted to this?
Oh, I think I'm an addict, yeah.
Yeah. But like, I mean, with something like this, obviously it's like you're doing it in a safe manner. Like you're not out there pushing yourself to see how long you can be under. You're doing it in a safe way, and I think being addicted to something like this could be like a positive thing for a lot of people, and it seems like it's been a positive thing for you.
Yeah, definitely has. I think though, I should probably take a break, or at least not do it every day
Yeah.
after this winter. Like every morning, I'm just like itching to get in there. And if I can't get in the morning, then I'm like thinking about it all day. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
on
go
your
in.
mind.
Yeah, I think I've talked about with Chris about this before.
Yeah.
We're both pretty addicted to it, and like, I don't know, wherever I am, I'm like, okay, I'm looking up like where's like cold water I can go into, or
searching out places.
or where's snowy there, so I can just lay in the snow or something like that.
Yeah.
So I am like somewhat addicted, but yeah, I don't think it's like a terrible thing. I think I'll calm down once it gets warmer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that keeps you up at night? Anything you're thinking about as you're going to bed?
Not anymore, like I said.
I know
Like,
it's been pretty good.
I go to bed and I can just go to bed fast.
Do you happen to have a bone spur on your left hand, third digit?
Wait, what? A bone? I have this. It's as straight as it goes, the bone.
Might be something to look into.
Exactly. Well, no, that's because I broke it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The last question I have is, what's the future look like for you, and where do you kind of see yourself in the near/extended future? So,
A couple years out of college. Definitely probably see myself out of the Midwest. And I feel like Colorado would be up my alley. Or otherwise, maybe out of the country somewhere.
Okay.
Not sure where. Gonna be in Australia for a year.
Oh,
at
really?
least. Yeah. They have like a program where if you're under 30, you don't really have to do like work visas or anything, but you can live there for like a year and work and stuff. So gonna do that
Never
with
knew
my
about
brother
that.
for a year. Yep. And then in the future, I feel like once I'm like 50 or 60, I think I'll be settled down by then.
Yeah.
I want to say, but hopefully I'll have money by then to have a house by then, and then I'll have like a little like cold bath in there, or maybe a sauna in there,
Yeah.
so I can keep up doing that. And a garden would be nice too. So
Yeah.
I think that would be relaxing. So yeah.
Sounds like a good little plan.
Yeah.
When thinking over my experiences, I like to ask myself, what have I learned? And this idea of delayed gratification keeps coming back to me. Jumping in a frozen lake is not more enjoyable than a hot shower. It's just not. But the benefits that come later make up for this initial discrepancy. The people I've talked to about this always talk about the physical benefits, the mental benefits, and I truly think they understand the rewards that one can reap through going through this uncomfortable thing. Through this whole process of jumping in the lake in the morning, interviewing people, and editing the video, I find myself shifting my priority towards things that take a while. I've got a growing list of video ideas that I want to make, but that's harder to do if I'm prioritizing getting high, playing video games, or any other forms of instant gratification. Otherwise, I'll end up spinning my wheels and really coasting for life, and that's not something I want for myself. More and more, I find myself prioritizing growth in my life, and I know that this path will lead me to the most skilled and developed version of myself. That's all I gotta say. If you like the video, stay tuned for more, and in the immortal words of John Ellis Jeb Bush, please clap.